Today I'm in Seoul, South Korea, and from my vantage point up on the 30th floor of my hotel, I can see lots of different civil engineering infrastructure. It gives me an opportunity to talk about infrastructure and how every single civil engineering work has multiple purposes. Take a look over my shoulder and see the lake or the pond or whatever they're going to call it. There's a body of water that I can look down upon from my hotel room window. And that body of water is an engineering work. It exists because civil engineers designed it and wanted it to be so. The question is, what purpose does it serve? It could be that it serves a reservoir for providing irrigation or drinking water. It could be that it serves as a stormwater retention pond for mitigating the risk of flooding. It could be that it serves a purpose for ecological habitat or for recreation. Or perhaps it's to break up the heat island effect by providing some evaporative cooling in what would otherwise be a dense urban area that tends to get too warm in the summertime. The point is that one body of water has multiple purposes. All civil engineering infrastructure has multiple purposes. Take a look at the traffic that's down below, the busy intersections and the big highways. You might say, well, we know what they're for. They're to carry cars, and it's true. But underneath those roadways are public utilities. It could be communications, it could be natural gas, it could be power, it could be sewer, it could be water distribution. The roads not only provide a surface on which the vehicles can operate, but they provide protection for the utilities that run below the surface through the public right-of-way. Every civil engineering work serves more than one function. I got this really tall building outside my window. You can kind of maybe look up and maybe see the top of it. It's a beautiful glass structure with this strange sort of curve, a linear shape going up. And maybe you say, well, that serves one function. It's to house office buildings, or it's to make money for the developer. And that's true. But this tall building might serve another function in another context. Perhaps there's a flood in Seoul, and we can't evacuate 10 million people in the metropolitan area of Seoul horizontally. That is, we can't move them out of the city and to higher ground, but we could evacuate them vertically by moving them to higher floors where the floodwaters can't reach them. Every civil engineering work has more than one function. And that means civil engineering designers have to consider multiple objective functions. In this context of engineering systems analysis, they have to think about the multiple functions that the civil engineering works are going to serve. We know that it's impossible to satisfy more than one objective function at a time. Once we mathematically represent the objective function as something to be minimized or maximized, we cannot do two objectives at once. We have to take them one at a time or combine them into some sort of weighted average grand objective function. So we have all these different stakeholders that use all the different functions of civil engineering works, and yet we only get to maximize or minimize one objective at a time. The problem becomes, how do we deal with multi-objective civil engineering problems when we're doing our engineering systems analysis? That'll be the topic of another video.